All Queensland underground coal mines are required to test their emergency preparedness by running annual simulated emergency exercises. Last year, Kestrel South Coal Mine was selected to be the focal point of the state's emergency preparedness and hosted the 2014 Level 1 Mine Emergency Exercise. Kestrel South is a central Queensland underground longwall coal mine. The emergency scenario for the exercise occurred at the end of a shift and involved an underground conveyor overrunning and creating a pile-up of coal at the transfer of the main underground conveyor and the drift conveyor. A faulty conveyor belt idler ignited the coal, which quickly escalated into a coal spillage fire. The pollutant from the fire quickly spread around the mine, requiring evacuation by coal mine workers using self-contained self-rescuers and compressed air breathing apparatus, referred to as CARBA. This video focuses on one crew's evacuation during the Level 1 emergency exercise. There were multiple crews being evacuated during the exercise, and this was coordinated by the Incident Management Team.
Right, mate, so what it is, we've got the CO level, pit bottom somewhere, high reading, they're unconfirmed and unsure of the location. So what we'll do, Curry, you want to grab the truck, we'll put it in the roadway, ready to go. Also, mate, we'll just get the cavers ready, sit them in the truck, or that, leave the cavers there, just get them ready, make sure she's fueled and ready to rock and roll.
At 8:56 a.m, the Explosion Risk Zone, or ERZ, controller received a personal emergency device message from the control room to call in. At 9 a.m, the ERZ controller was informed of high carbon monoxide levels in the pit bottom area and told to gather the 403 crew together. At 9:07 a.m, the ERZ controller informed the control room the 403 crew would be evacuating, all workers were accounted for, and they would call again from the tag board at the end of the gate road.
So, mate, fellas, got CO reporting for out the mine, still unconfirmed our location. So we're heading straight out B heading here. Yep. Get the tag board. Our first point of call will be control the tag board, confirm everyone out of this panel. And then straight up B heading, mate. Alright. Everyone have a 300 bar. Yep. Righto. Make sure not to bump your mask, because you will set them off.
At 9:10 a.m, the 403 crew left the in-by crib room. The crew donned self-contained self-rescuers and headed to the tag board at the end of the gate road by vehicle.
Can I just get you to monitor as well, mate?
At 9:12 a.m, the crew were informed smoke could be seen, at which time they donned their CARBA suits. 3 of the crew had been provided with vision-impaired face masks to simulate low vision. A couple of the workers encountered small issues donning their CARBA suits and were assisted by other crew members. It is important for all mine workers to know where safety equipment is stored and how to use it, such as knowing how to fit and use a self-contained self-rescuer or compressed air breathing apparatus and where their refill stations are located. The ERZ controller asked the crew to check their pressure gauges frequently, and a refill was conducted on the way out. The evacuation under impaired visibility was assisted with the use of blind man sticks. The ERZ controller received information on the location of the fire and confirmed his planned evacuation route. While the CARBA allows communication, the ERZ controller had to repeat what he was saying to the control room officer when he called to report on progress.
Is that better? The temperature, travelling via bunker out B heading.
It is important for mine workers to follow all safety procedures and the ERZ controller's instructions. The controller should check in regularly with the control room. After their CARBA refill, the 403 crew returned to the vehicle and travelled to the next CARBA station, where they were joined by the mains crew. The crew operated well under restricted vision with the use of blind man sticks. Walking pace with restricted vision was well organised and the workers did not outpace anyone. The ERZ controller ensured he communicated with the surface regularly on the way out. At 17 cut-through in the mains, the ERZ controller was informed of a broken down vehicle and there was fresh air at 10 cut-through in the mains. The crews were informed a vehicle was being sent down to bring them out. They correctly made the decision to walk up the drift and meet the vehicle. The evacuation was conducted on foot to the pit bottom. The crew conducted a number of carb refills along the way and the ERZ controller regularly communicated with the surface. At 3 cut-through, the ERZ controller checked the gas readings and found them clear. At 11 a.m, the workers were on the surface and the ERZ controller was debriefed on the situation from 11:05 a.m. until 11:20 a.m. The 17th Level 1 mine emergency exercise was successfully conducted and the various crews performed their emergency response and evacuation duties well. All aspects of the mine's response were professionally conducted, demonstrating the mine's commitment to the mine emergency management system process.